Sometimes it just feel like they just making it too obvious. We're talking about connecting with our trees, our oxygen. And what happens when you've been oxygen deprived to the brain? What happens when you have more oxygen? Do you heal faster? Do you get more connectivity? Do you start raising a bunch of Dions? Love to the family that sent me this.
I hear you.
Check it out.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to raise a superhero?
Put it back, right now.
How do you give him a normal childhood?
No. Good job, bring it up. Bring it up.
How do you protect him from the world?
Look at Dion. Dion, I'm not playing.
Well, let me tell you how I raised my son, Dion.
There we go. You ready to eat it?
First, never take your eyes off of him. His powers can be unpredictable.
Dion, put the iPad back.
How did you know?
This is day number 1 of filming Dion do things that boggle the mind.
I needed a sidekick to help me film. And for me, it was my late husband's best friend, Pat.
Go scare Pat.
Jesus.
Oh, man.
Keeping track of him won't be easy.
Dion, you better not be naked out there again.
Because he's always going to be thinking one step ahead.
How come my poop isn't invisible?
How come your poop isn't invisible? Dion, that's disgusting.
The right children's books won't exist, so you'll need to get creative. I drew a rule book called When Do I Use My Powers?
Dion!
Now life quickly gets difficult.
Dion!
You have no idea what he'll grow up to be.
3. Oh my God. Watch out!
You will be filthy. And now you die.
Dion, put that down.
So give him positive role models.
Talk like this, because then you'll be incredibly cool.
That was pretty good.
No using your powers in public. Dion.
Make sure no one tries to hurt him. And believe that you can do it. Because the most important thing about raising a superhero is learning how to become one first.
Dope. Alright, so they said you got a whole thing. You can check it out, raisingdion.com. But is it right on time? You know, when you look at these Supermans and these Wonder Womans and you get the original Supermans and Wonder Womans, they're all basing it on your power. All the X-Men, they're all basing it on the power that you had before they cut your trees down. A lot of good dropping here, man. Short film drive, stuff for the little ones, stuff to make you think. Different things like that. Keep surfing the wave. Keep surfing the wave, man. Special love and appreciation to the sister Dar Campbell for the beautiful donation today. Thank you so much, my great sister, for the steady energy she's been rocking, supporting every bit of our framework from the beginning, you know, buying shirts and getting her music tuned. I mean, this sister's been incredibly supportive. So this energy is a humbling process, you know, when the energy is just that pure water, you know, when it's that believing, when it has that much faith in you before you know you, before we see what we are, you know, people are believing in it. You know, they're not waiting for us to fail. They're not sitting back, you know, with their arms crossed and looking crazy in the corner like, look, I hope these son of a guns, you know, eat shit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, why? There's plenty of assholes in the world. All right, let us figure a couple things out. Let us, you know, turn left and turn right. Let us find the narrow path. So for those that believe we are on it, for those that believe we are bound for it, I love you. And my action says so, and your action says so, And that's what we got. So we know. Love to Dar Campbell. Love to the sister Deborah Jimenez. She says, wisdom and peace to all those who continue to seek the truth and share it with his brothers and sisters. All right. And all the other beautiful donations that's coming every day, man. Every day. October Scorpio, Kenny Markham, Francisco, always. Michelle McKay, always. Dar Campbell again. See what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Love to the family. Ty Battle, Chris Battle. Oh, yeah. And love to Ty Battle, Chris Battle. They sent me incredible resources, wonderful timelines. I still got to sit down and go through those. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for the wonderful resources they sent to Drop Nation, so we can keep building our references, get our references up. And love, of course, to the family, Jay Stu and Camellia and Mario Shalise, the wonderful sister V Perkins, Vanessa Perkins. She's out there. She got her trailer out there, and she's making it happen all the way, I believe, from Louisiana or one of those surrounding areas around there. But she made it happen, and they all connected, and they're all bunkered down, making it happen. You know what I'm saying? They get that extra shelter if they need it from the sister. You know what I'm saying? So, for all the energy going back and forth from you, from your donations to what they're living and doing and growing on a daily basis in frequency. This is a frequency that they're able to share back with us. The brother Jay, hit me with a wonderful, work in the, in his reading, in his journey, in the scriptures, so all of our scriptures, that we're kicking. I love bringing them from Jay to us, It feels so good. I think we have a great dynamic. So please keep them coming. My man Jay, Mario hit me with a great one today as well. So, we're just going to keep them flowing. We're going to keep it all flowing from the wilderness, from the trees to you, to me. It fills our family, man. You see me getting speechless. It literally fills my energy. It fills our families, and it inspires us. And I think that's the main thing, is that people are inspired by a few doing so much in such a little time. A few have done so much in such a little time. So thank you all to those, who notice the wave, who don't resist the wave, who don't resist order, who don't resist knowledge and a good feeling and a good thing, the wisdom, the understanding, the drop. They don't resist the drop. I appreciate y'all. Real spill. So keep surfing, man. Keep over here. Keep checking it out, man. Just did some feature drop for, all this great drop and all this great info, that keeps on coming. And there's so many more, of course. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times there'll be way more in there. Obviously, I can't, squeeze them all in the title. But you get it. You know what I'm saying? We do this all the time because we just keep the drop circulating. Very interesting. Inner eye. Should we? Let's just see it. It's 40 seconds. Love to enter the stars.
Hey guys, enter the stars. And what you're looking at is the intraocular current of the vitreous humor of the center of your eye. And in the link in the description is a full-length video explaining this brand new discovery that seems to match the current of stars racing across the heavens in the north and southern portions of our sky from the equator. Click on the link in the description for the full-length video on my website. Take care and be safe, you guys.
All right. I just want to get your feet wet. Check out that inner eye drop. All right. Love to my big bro. My man, your man. Fire. Always dropping that fire power. Fire power. Romans in Brazil. In depth. Bring it out. Bring it out. Of course, man, when we talk about being here, we talk about, being hijack free. We know that we was dealing with the hijack already. And the brothers bringing out great info, man, bringing out the archaeology, the basis for how these Roman artifacts are being found before even their dates of 70 AD, Roman sacking Jerusalem over there. You getting the Roman artifacts already over here, already in South America. All right, so keep digging on it. Getting to the root, we're going to do a wonderful dismount with this one, man. So we're going to come back to these trans eugenics. It's crazy. You got to understand who you're dealing with. We're going to get into their language. And this is the other part. This is the part 2 from what we dropped last time from my brother Hiram. So keep getting it, man. We'll keep trying to catch it. Sometimes I miss it. Sometimes I try to catch it, man. All right, what's going on the South Pole? What's going on? What's going on? So again, thank you everyone for surfing the wave. Let's get to it, man. That's just the intro, just to get us feeling good. I can just jump right into it and jam y'all up. But I don't know what kind of day y'all been having. So I just want y'all to feel good. Don't mind me if you haven't been here before. If you say, I just came for hear this and this. Well, then you ain't here to surf the wave. This ain't for you. This is for the class. And I'm in the class with you. So this is for the pow-wow. This ain't even a class because I ain't even really teaching y'all nothing. We're all just remembering a bunch of stuff. So I ain't your teacher. I ain't nobody's teacher. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to be that. We don't have to be that. We're all just having a powwow. Digging on some drop. How about that? We're all just digging some drop in the middle of a powwow. Alright, so I just want to bring this up in the powwow. Alright? This syntax fraudulent grammar situation because it plays to understand the forked tongue and to say, okay, while we're getting like the sister M.A. Truth and the sister Yafa Bay, Israel's redemption is breaking all the way down to the root of the language. We have to also dissect what this is. If we're going to use it, we at least need to understand syntax, because that's all about numbers too. We're talking numbers, you're going to also be talking syntax. So, look, I don't know nothing about this, but I got introduced to it recently by a great brother. So, love to you, my bro. And yeah, I just wanted to kind of check it out with you, do a few parts on it maybe, you know, and see if we can develop any traction. Now, this cat, I don't know. I cannot substantiate anything he's saying. Nor have I really got deep into recon and none of this. But there's some obvious babies he's going to throw out right away. And again, this is David-Wynn Miller and Russell Gall, and they are like postmaster judges, you know, but they just are working the fuck out of this system. And just based on this syntax shit and based on proving that it's a fraudulent system. So as we break down our invader, as we break down this system of invasion, this maritime law, understanding these vessels on dry dock and the fraudulent grammar and syntax that's being done in all of our contracts, we say, how do we get free? How do you get out of these mortgage contracts? How do you get out of all these contracts and debt against you and your fictitious name? First, you need to understand that your name is fictitious. We touched on that before about the all caps and the straw man and all that, but this is going to go a step deeper into breaking it down and proving these contracts to be fraudulent, adverb, verb, syntax, fiction contracts. And that's all about that's about all I know. So we're going to do a couple belly flops. We're going to check it out. The dude is hella boring, but, you know, just know that you're going to get something. You know, if it's one piece, just get the nugget that you need. If you can only pay attention for 5 minutes, cool. 5 seconds, cool. Come back to it. Don't try to overdo it, because there's going to be a lot of wham. But you're going to have to get that nugget that's for you so that you can utilize it in your life, in your legal situations, or in your, you know, all legal situations and contracts, all contracts. This has to do with every contract you've ever made with the one that is oppressing you. As a prisoner of war, as a so-called Negro, as a prisoner of war, according to the dumb Diversas 1452 Papal Bull, putting you in captivity, subjugating you into perpetual servitude. You've also been subjugated to a servitude language, and you're making servitude contracts. So let's get to the drop of these servitude contracts, the fraudulent grammar that we're speaking, that we're signing our names on. And can we unravel the system, and what have these fellas done? So we'll get the intro, we'll do a belly flop, and let's go. He talks low, so listen up.
My partner, Russell J. Gould. He's from Wyoming. Russell and I have been together since 1995. In 1995, he was
21 years old, and I said to him, I'd like to be Postmaster General of the United States of America. And he was like, yeah, I can do that. So he put his mind to the wheel, and he became Postmaster General of the United States about 10 years ago. And then after we ordered open Benjamin Franklin's Federal Postal Court on 12/21/2012, the Mayan calendar date of the end of the world, thou being the adverb, making world a verb, we ended the world of verb.
You're gonna hear that a lot. Adverb, verb. Just go with it for now. If you never heard about this, some of my fam already know exactly what time it is. I already know. So you know what I'm saying. Let's see if you got any more drop out of this. And yeah, leave some comments, man. You know what I'm saying. Is this the drop? You know what I'm saying. It's all good. Have your opinion. It's all good. Enjoy.
And now we became the two senior postmaster. Federal Postal Court postmasters for Canada and the United States.
Federal postmasters.
Now, most people would think that that right after that happened, 45 days later, the Canadian government issued federal postal stamps with Benjamin Franklin to honor him, and it's an explanation on the back of us opening the Federal Postal Court. Now, this is we post-dated this back to July 4th, 1775, 24 years before the United States Supreme Court was created. So we were in quantum under Title 42, 1986 for knowledge of the law. But law is no more than a contract based on each individual's private vessel.
Law is no more than a contract based on each individual's private vessel. Dig on it. Okay? You're going to hear a lot of this. The private vessels. Law is nothing but a contract between each individual's private vessel. Listen up. Might be easy.
So because we now created the new court, new constitution, new banking treaty, new postal treaty, in order to open Benjamin Franklin's Federal Postal Court, we trumped the United States Supreme Court for 24 years. And then when they were created, out of the bankruptcy of September 17, 1789, they were still in illusion. They were in a bankruptcy scenario. We have never been that. We have gold, silver, and quantum. So we are the people, the two guys, corporate, above them. Now the United States, United Nations, on November 12 August 1999, gave us both, because we were corporate, we then sued for the copyrights of the flag of America. And the United States Title IV, Sections 1, 2, and 3 were written in adverb verb, which said nothing. So we quantumized that definition, and we then filed it at the United Nations Court, and we sued America, the Congress, Senate, Legislature, Supreme Court, President of the United States. Show us a quantum oath for any of your offices. Show us a quantum definition for the...
And we're going to get into these quantums. Quantum this, quantum this. I have quantum. Hold on. Hold on to your boots. You know what I'm saying? So what is this quantum? What is he talking about? He's talking about suing the government for the flag.
Flag of America, and they couldn't do it. They wouldn't even come to court at the United Nations. So they awarded us the copyrights to the flag.
So these guys have the copyrights to the flag of the United States of America. That's pretty much what he said.
The same day we filed our 115-page banking treaty. We produced our American Eagle gold coins and our silver coins for our banking. We had a constitution written in quantum language that was fair and equitable, which the United Nations has adapted as their foundation of quantum language. We went around door to door at cost of over $12,000 in printing and served bank treaties on 82 countries, which is about 96 cents on the dollar worldwide. So we went after the money on the planet and coordinated them. Now they've had 16 years to get that together. And I took a trip over to Beijing, China, in September of 2012.
All right. So let's get to it, man. Let's get to it. Let's get to it.
I wanted to see.
And he's just talking about how cool he is. He's talking about how cool he
We'll get
is.
started
Let's
here.
go. Let's go.
First thing we're going to talk about here, this is a list of topics we're going to go over today. And Russell's going to do banking and postal for you guys. Jump in and throw stones at me. The name. What is the name? It's the first thing people ask you. You walk into court and they go like,
Listen up, man. What is your name when you go into court?
so, got it. What's the answer?
What?
Mm-hmm.
According to what you wrote, you're saying, what is my name?
Right.
So my name would be what?
What? Right.
What?
And you know, every single person I show this to that hasn't been trained, they all tell me their name. I'm going, no. I says this is a unique set of 4 words. You have an adverb which modifies a verb, which connected to the adverb which modifies the verbs. You have a pronoun that's connected to the adverb which modifies the adverb which modifies the verb.
Wow.
You see, so you have your values have changed. Even if you do identify with yourself to be a fact, if you said this here, acknowledging it as a fact like that, and you put a comma here, then this becomes a pronoun. This is an adverb. This becomes a pronoun then. If you put a comma, because it would be a 4, 1, 2. Just because of the comma.
Don't trip, but you see how we're getting right back into numbers. Numbers are everywhere. So what is your name? What is your name? You're trained to answer. They train you to answer your name, right? But they're telling you what is your name. And according to how he broke it down, the adverb verb, it's a fiction. It's saying your name is fiction. Like you are a fiction. You are a dead fact. Or you are dead. You are a non-fact. But even if you put the fact on it, it still numerically doesn't make sense. When you do it in syntax, when he adds this stuff up, it is fiction. When the numbers don't add up, when it don't make dollars don't make sense, when it don't make numbers, it don't make sense. So in syntax, it's about the numbers the same way. They want you to believe that 3 plus 3 is 7. When you look at their contracts based on how he's breaking down the syntax, the contracts are like 3 plus 3 equals 7. And he's looking at it like, nah, that's not a contract. That is not a fact. This is fraudulent grammar.
It's like if I were to give you a list of pen, paper, eraser, I would put all those words down and put commas between them. Just like here, if I throw a comma in here, that becomes a prepositional phrase. If this is a pronoun, which means nothing, then the next word that followed it would be a nothing. But it has to be connected to an adverb, and the only thing left is a verb. So your name is a verb. So even though I give you a what, or you're Thomas, I called you a verb. From the name of the Thomas is with the claim of with the knowledge. See? So I'm giving you credit for having knowledge about who you are. But I'm using prepositional phrases, making knowledge a fact, your name a fact, and by doing so, you become a fact. So when you write your name, I do David-Wynn, Miller. And throughout the internet and news broadcasts and the radio shows that I do, they always identify me as David-Wynn, Miller. And that's how they introduce me. And they think they're trying to be funny, but actually it's really a correct procedure as to who I am as a fact. Now, the government's going to come back and they're going to capitalize my name, making me an adjective pronoun as a noun that you're a dead person.
Bang. Everyone has signed their contracts like this. He just said based on syntax and correct grammar, how the numbers would properly add up to identify you according to their system of language and mathematics. This would be correct. This is what they're speaking correctly. But when they do it this way, it is a dead person. So every contract they sign or made you sign has been as a dead person. When you show up and you say, yeah, I represent this dead entity. I represent dead property.
Now, to get into Title 46, under maritime codes, it says that dead people are not allowed to own property or write contracts.
Wow.
So if they write in a contract,
I'm gonna back it up a little bit.
an adverb, verb, but Lord,
Let's back it up.
would be a nothing. But it has to be connected to an adverb, and the only thing left is a verb. So your name is a verb. So even though I give you a what, or if you're Thomas, I called you a verb. For the name of the Thomas is with the claim of with the knowledge. See? So I'm giving you credit for having knowledge about who you are. But I'm using prepositional phrases, making knowledge a fact, your name a fact, and by doing so, you become a fact. So when you write your name, I do David-Wynn, Miller. And throughout the internet and news broadcasts and the radio shows that I do, they always identify me as David-Wynn, Miller. And that's how they introduce me. And they think they're trying to be funny, but actually it's really a correct procedure as to who I am as a fact. Now, the government's going to come back and they're going to capitalize my name, making me an adjective pronoun as a noun, but you're a dead person. Now, to get into Title 46, under maritime codes, it says that dead people are not allowed to own property or write contracts.
Dead people are not allowed to own property or write contracts, according to maritime code. So when they have you do a contract as a dead person, according to maritime code, it is a no-no against their own law, against their own setup. Now, when you check them on that, then now the game begins between truth and illusion, and truth will always be victorious, no matter how long it takes.
So if they write in a contract and it's all written in adverb, verb, like lawyers and attorneys do, what's the end result? You're a dead person saying nothing, and that's your own fault.
Yep.
So what happens when you walk into the courtroom? You're in this box over here, and you've got 5 different planes in this trap. And the judge is going to be sitting up here in his own box, but he's going to have a flag on his box, advertising his jurisdiction. Now, his flag, I don't know if many of you have seen lately, almost all yellow French flags came off the flags in courtrooms all over the United States, which is, there's some kind of a dynamic change taking place in America. Because because of all the lawsuits we filed, and even when I go through Homeland Security, if the eagle's wings are up, like on a dollar bill, it's a postal flag. If they're down like this, it's a Vatican flag for banking. And if whatever you put on top of the flagpole captures the jurisdiction of the flag and the standard, and it says nothing. We're just here to collect money from people called airline tickets. And people are looked at as souls, ambuls believe. When a plane crashes, we lost 200 souls today. They don't say 200 people died. Because you were cargo, you had a bill of lading, you were being shipped as cargo, you paid money.
Wow.
So it was all about banking. And so the
So when you buy your airline ticket, you're just cargo. You're being shipped. Cargo.
The judge sits up here with his advertisement of his flag in his box. And if we come in there with our flag, of our grammar flag, the Title IV flag is no longer recognized as a Title IV flag anywhere in the world. The whole world has accepted the fact that the red, white, and blue flag has 50 procedures of grammar, and this now is the grammar flag, and Russell and I are the directors of that flag. When I was over in Germany, they acknowledged that the American flag, because I put it on their documents, filed in their courts. was a grammar flag, had no political argument between the U.S. and Germany, and their courts don't. Germany wouldn't accept U.S. dollars when I was over there. I had to use my MasterCard. Otherwise, I'd go hungry. There's a lot of things that changed when I was over there. I thought I could use U.S. currency, and everybody accepted it. They don't anymore. I just came back from Nassau. They wanted silver or MasterCard, but they wanted U.S. dollars. And Puerto Rico's left the United States. There's only Guam, Virgin Islands, Grand Samoa, and District of Columbia, not 4 of them. And Puerto Rico won't take money in U.S. currency because it's not backed by anything. Yeah, there's a lot of changes happening. So when you break up these planes, each one of these planes, you got a jury box, witness box, clerk. The clerk of the court signs her name across the stamps. That makes her a postmaster. Takes your money, pays your fines, makes her a banker. Look up bankers and postmasters. See the judge. Judge is up here in a box, so he's an actor under Federal Rules of Civil Procedure 44 and 44.1. Now, 44.1 says that all 10 billion people on planet Earth are aliens, which means no lien. They write and they babble in adverb verb. They have no contract with the bank, with the court. They do not have their names are all non-de-guerre, so they're all dead, so they can't make contracts. What contracts they do bring into court are written in adverb verb, and they don't say anything. Now, in order for you, and because the courthouse is a foreign vessel and dry dock under the Port Authorities, the post office, and when you go inside the courthouse, you're in a box, and they have all these different series of boxes here, even the jury box. Well, the laws, as they tell you through your Constitution, says you must have a 12-man jury. But the playing of the jury box is like this. You got 6 and 6, so you got 2 petite juries, which is illegal. And there's no continuance of evidence with them communicating with each other, so they babble. And if you look at jury box in Black's Law Dictionary, it says it's an enclosed area that cannot see witnesses or hear testimony. So it doesn't matter what the jury says. But you can't sue a jury that isn't there because there's no continuance of evidence with what's in the box. So the judge says, I'm not going to make a decision here, I'm going to let the jury do that. So he's opting out from a quantum lawsuit that comes into his court saying you're going to have a jury. You don't want a jury. The jury can't read and write. They got second grade reading level. Who wants to be judged by second graders, right? So you always make sure you get a judge, because you can negotiate with a judge. You can say, okay, let's scrap this thing and I'll go in the jury room. I've got a table that seats 14 people. The judge will sit at the head of the table, prosecution, defense, on both sides of the table, and you put your arguments and you're on the same plane. See, the only thing I have to do to disappear from you guys is take this and stand on it. You can't see me or hear me anymore. I'm on a different plane than you are. It's called soapboxing. It's a stage. Where's the judge sit? He's on the highest stage in the room. So you're doing theatrics right in front of you, and if you don't pay attention, they're going to clean your fillings out of your teeth. And so it's real simple to be a dead person. Now this here is called an acronym. They abbreviate your name, D.W. Miller. Or they go ahead and use just initial lists. Like when you come into all your hotels, if you're staying there right now. Initial here in 6 parts, or you're renting a car, initial all here. Those initials don't mean anything. And you also, when you put them in, you always scribble. So it's scribbled. Because even when you go to sign your name in all those electronic signing things, that pen goes all over the place. If that's, and then it always says approved. How can you approve something that looks like chicken scratch, you know? And if you write your name like this, even if it's legible, it's called cursive writing. You know that Russell and I filed documents with the Board of Education, and the cursive writing is no longer taught in any schools, colleges, or universities in the United States. You have to print or use a computer. And when you go to school now, even from 3rd grade, 2nd grade, all the kids in school have their own computers now in schools. And they're sitting there, and the kids are. I always get my daughter to teach me how to use my cell phone. You know, I might be a smart guy, but the little kids are the ones that can really handle their cell phone.
Yeah, they can. They really
can. And how to play the games and get through all that stuff. We've all been there with our grandkids, you know. So the cursive writing means you're dead. It's a dead writing because you're doing curse people. So don't get trapped into the name scenario. And that's the very first thing that anybody's going to want to know who you are and what you're doing. Even your name tags are in a box, whether you know it or not. Because it's your subjective interpretation of who you are that you put your name in that box. And a lot of the courts today are saying we will not accept you handwriting in the case number, handwriting in anything on the papers. Must be printed by a computer. So that either New Times Roman or Arial or Courier New. And they set all these local rules down as how the print wants to be handled on the paper. Well, you know, local rules don't mean anything. It's a foreign vessel and dry dock, and you're all dead anyways when you walk into the courthouse. Now, the only way you beat that is a unique thing. You're walking into this courthouse, this foreign vessel and dry dock, and if you don't have a passport, then get a passport. Because this little puppy here gives you authorization to leave the United States of America and walk into a foreign vessel and dry dock. And when I go into court, and I walk into all these foreign countries, just like I came back from Germany, I sign the stamp. Now, when I sign my name across that stamp, and I cancel it, that makes me a customs and immigration agent. Because I have my federal oath, and I sign the postage stamp, that makes me a banker, because that's money. And this says I'm a grammar flag. On the last page is reserved for special information, which I produce.
Is that the one we did?
Huh?
Is that the one we did way back up? No,
Yeah, that's 19 years old. That's me at the age of 50.
I want to see. I want to see.
Try to pass it around.
It's just, yeah, I'll take my
So I took my oath, my federal oath that I filed in all the different courts around the United States. And Mrs. Young here wants me to go to court with her, so what I'll do is I'll walk into her court and I'll file my federal oath. Under miscellaneous, it's a $47 fee. In some places, it's free in others.
46 and so on.
Yeah.
It changes between that.
Yeah, it changes between venues. But once my oath is on file in there, I've got my passport, and I'm a federal judge of that courthouse.
Just that stuff.
And the judge will say, you can't represent them. You're a federal judge here. I said, oh yeah, I can't do that. And I also can witness. I can write a quo rounto complaint on your behavior in this courtroom. And a lot of judges won't even come in the courtroom if I'm in the courtroom. Or they got a guy going to prison for 10 years with a $10,000 fine, and I'm sitting there and he gets $20 court costs and sent home because he can't. There are no laws, rules, regulations, and codes in the United States. You have to capitulate to agree to whatever he wants to put on you.
Uh-oh.
And how can you agree? A means no, and agree means contract. How can you agree to somebody that's in a box and say, no, I don't? When he asks you to understand, UN means no, DER is contract, and stand is standing. You have no contract.
UN means no, DER is contract, and stand is standing. When they say understand, what are they saying? No standing contract. Oh, shit. Body bag, Daniel. When the judge says, do you understand? He's saying, you have no standing contract. Dead man. Let's get this back. Just 1 minute. Because he said a lot. And you know me, I'll take the whole drop on 2 minutes. I'll do it. I'll take 2 minutes to make it a whole drop. Because sometimes that's really all you need. Everything else is kind of like embroidery, right? So don't get tripped up on adverb, verb, quantum. It's great to know. I'm just leading you to the water. I'm not going to cover the entire 6 hour and 16 minutes. But we'll do a couple parts, a couple belly flops. Now, what did he say?
So I took my oath, my federal oath that I had filed in all the different courts around the United States. And this is younger. I'm a federal judge of that courthouse. The judge will say, you can't represent them. You're a federal judge here.
All right, listen up, listen up, listen up.
But I also can witness. I can write a quo warranto complaint on your behavior in this courtroom. A lot of judges won't even come in the courtroom if I'm in the courtroom. Or they got a guy going to prison for 10 years with a $10,000 fine, and I'm sitting there and he gets $20 court costs and sent home because he can't. There are no laws, rules, regulations imposed in the United States. You have to capitulate to agree to whatever he wants to put on you.
You have to agree to it. That's all the drop. No matter if you learn syntax with your left brain, no matter if you understand the quantum, verb, verb, adverb, verb, pronoun, noun, with your right brain, go right to the source. Go right to the drop. The drop is, you have to agree to everything they're doing to you. And when they give you sugar on top, it looks sweet and it tastes sweet, but it makes you feel like shit. It makes you feel worthless. Think about all the things, my people, that you're accepting because of your fear and being alone. Your master has made you afraid of being without them. That is how you make a slave, right? Right, Willie Lynch? How do you make a slave? You make them so dependent that they're afraid to be on their own. We say wilderness and building and love to J. Stu and Mario, and then now we got our acres that we can actually just build and begin a community, one of many. One of many. But you're afraid to be alone. You have to agree. What does a demon do before they possess you? Before these people sign their contracts, their blood oaths to get their monies, to get a little temporary security, to get promise that they can travel through the timeline, that they can be gods, that they can have the celestial paradise, but they never get the paradise above the barrier. They never get to experience the frequency above the barrier. That frequency is zapped out of them, and they become like clones. Oh, you're going to get this genetic drop from Uno, man. We're going to get to the genetics, man. They become like clones because their spirit is gone. So what do? You want everybody to be vampires. You want everybody to be spiritless. To sign these contracts, to agree, to make these agreements, you have to agree. Even in the courtroom, you have to agree. One more time. People, what are you agreeing to? Do you even know what you're agreeing to? Do you even know what you have agreed to already?
Won't even come in the courtroom if I'm in the courtroom. Or they got a guy going to prison for 10 years with a $10,000 fine, and I'm sitting there and he gets $20 court costs and sent home because he can't. There are no laws, rules, regulations imposed in the United States. You have to capitulate to agree to whatever he wants to put on you. And how can you agree? A means no and agree means contract. How can you agree to somebody that's in a box and say, no, I don't?
Huh.
When he asks you to understand, UN means no, DER is contract, and stand is standing. You have no contract standing. That's why
you have no contract standing. Do you understand? What is your name? William. You're dead. You just made a deal with a dead man. What is not your name? That is not how you address somebody who's not dead. What is your name? You're fiction to me. You're nothing to me. What is your name? You're nothing to me. Do you understand? You have no contract standing with me, and I'm standing above you. So how can you be standing with them if they're in the box above you?
He keeps asking, you understand? You understand? And my client says, I'm here to perform the correct parse-syntax grammar for the avoidance of perjury.
I'm here to perform the correct parse-sentence grammar. What'd he say? I mean, write this down. This is very, hey, have this one in your bag of goodies. This little sentence alone might go a long way.
They can't put you in jail, can't do anything to you.
So if we don't hear the judge, why are we responding? Like,
you are. Re means
Let's go back.
to agree to whatever he wants to put on you. And how can you agree? A means no and agree means contract. How can you agree to somebody that's in a box and say, no, I don't? When he asks you to understand, UN means no, DER is contract, and stand is standing. You have no contract standing. That's why he keeps asking, you understand? You understand? And my client says, I'm here to perform the correct parse-syntax grammar for the avoidance of perjury. Judge goes,
I can't understand what you're saying. It's how the judge is going to respond. The correct parse-syntax grammar for something of perjury. Whatever you say, you get it. You write it down. That's your drop. I'll let you hear it one more time because I guarantee you what I'm showing you right now, I don't know if it's much more important than what you're about to get, than what you've gotten thus far.
to agree.
You have to agree, people.
Put on you.
Just understand. Understand. You have no contract standing. Understand that you have no contract standing with these people. And that you have to agree to be a dead person before them. They can't make you a dead person. You have to agree to it. Before they take your soul, you have to agree. Like any demon, you have to agree. And their contracts works the same as the demon contracts. You have to agree to have no contract standing. What did he say? I'm here to perform a correct parse-syntax. Listen up, one more time.
How can you agree? A means no and agree means contract. How can you agree to somebody that's in a box and say, no, I don't? When he asks you to understand, UN means no, DER is contract, and stand is standing. You have no contract standing. That's why he keeps asking, you understand? You understand? And my client says, I'm here to perform the correct parse-syntax grammar for the avoidance of perjury. Judge goes, I can't hear what you're saying. I don't know what you're saying. And when the judge says that, she repeats it. Or he repeats it. Judge says, do you understand what I said to you? And she repeats the same thing again. I'm here to participate with the correct parse-syntax grammar. This battering goes back and forth every 30 seconds for 35 minutes. Finally, the judge says, get out of my courtroom. No charges.
Can't understand what you're saying.
Can't understand what you're saying. There's no joinder. There's no contract. This illusion.
That is how you avoid making a contract with them. In the little game they play. In the little forked tongue we're speaking. That is how you get out of making contracts with them. And it's so important. I want to hear it one more time for myself. Because I'm trying to learn this with you. All right? It's that important.
To agree to whatever he wants to put on you. And how can you agree? A means no and agree means contract. How can you agree to somebody that's in a box and say, no, I don't? When he asks you to understand, UN means no, DER is contract, and stand is standing. You have no contract standing. That's why he keeps asking, you understand? You understand? And my client says, I'm here to perform the correct parse-syntax grammar for the avoidance of perjury.
The correct parse-syntax grammar for the avoidance of perjury, I believe is what he's saying. I'm here to perform the correct parse-syntax grammar for the avoidance of perjury. Something like that. Let go.
Judge goes, I can't hear what you're saying. I don't know what you're saying. And when the judge says that, she repeats it. Or he repeats it. Judge says, do you understand what I said to you? And she repeats the same thing again. I'm here to participate with the Parse-Syntax-GRAMMAR. This battering goes back and forth every 30 seconds for 35 minutes. Finally, the judge says, get out of my courtroom. No charges.
Can't understand what you're saying.
Can't understand what you're saying. There's no joinder. There's no contract. This illusion up here, if they can't get you to make a contract with them, acknowledging that he's in charge of you, they can't put you in jail, can't do anything to you.
You have to make a contract.
We don't hear the judge. Why are we responding? Like,
You are. Re means no, respond means to talk. It means no talk contract. That's what the word respond means. So if you're babbling to him in adverb verb, you haven't said anything to him. And he's up there syntaxing your word.
If you're babbling to them in adverb verb, you're not saying anything to them. You're not making a deal with these devils. You have to make a deal with them. Babbling, 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 babble. How do you out-babble a babbler? You say, I'm only here to perform, to participate with the correct Parse-Syntax-GRAMMAR for avoidance of perjury. Huh? I don't know what you're saying. There's no deal, there's no contract. You're not contracting with me. And there's no power that you can have over me if you made no contract that I've given you my power. If I have the power, I have to make a contract to give you my power. When I walk in your foreign vessel, your ship that's parked in a dry dock, and he's going to get into the documents and the dockets that you have in court because you're in a dock, you're in a dry dock. Now you may say, well, they're going to do what they want. They're going to do what they want. Well, everybody has rules to play by. And what are the rules of those people with the rules? Let's go.
As fast as you're saying, as fast as you're acting, he's syntaxing you just like I do. And he's used to all the prefixes mean no, contract. All the suffixes mean no, you're not in no time. And the last when you end a word with a vowel and a consonant, there's always going to be, those two letters mean contract in every word. When you start a word with a A, E, I, O, and U as a single syllable, that means no. Doesn't matter what the word says.
Wow. When you start a word with the A, E, I, O, U, it means no. Don't matter what the word says. And their forked tongue. I'm not saying that this applies to our Hebrew and you know, but this is according to these contracts and how they're doing with their babble. These are their rules. All right? Let me be clear. But it's interesting. It's very interesting how this works. I'm going to get a little piece of that again. A little piece of that again.
You're not in no time. And the last when you end a word with a vowel and a consonant, there's always going to be, those two letters mean contract in every word.
A vowel and a consonant. So those two letters mean contract. He said in every tongue. So like I said, it may not apply to Hebrew. He's saying every tongue. So I don't want to misquote what this cat is saying. This postmaster, right? Now, side note. These people are claiming all this jurisdiction on your land. And that's the funny fucking shit. All this shit is being claimed on the backs of the indigenous people setting up their empire. Oh, now I'm a federal postal judge. Man, you ain't got no land here. You have no jurisdiction here whatsoever. Even in your forked sovereignty. When you get real with all these people, all of this shit just crumbles. It don't even matter. You know what I mean? But we're going to still get into the mind of a hijack, so that we know. Just so we know, right? So when you end a word with a ED or a AD or an ID, I don't know. You said a vowel and consonant, right? I mean, just pay attention. What is this? What's this cat saying?
So I took my oath, my federal oath that I've filed in all the different courts around the United States. And Mrs. Young here wants me to go to court with her, so what I'll do is I'll walk into her court and I'll file my federal oath. Under miscellaneous, it's a $47 fee. In some places, it's free in others.
46 and some.
Yeah.
It changes between venues.
Yeah, it changes between venues. But once my oath is unfiled in there, I've got my passport, and I'm a federal judge of that courthouse.
Just that stuff.
And the judge will say, you can't represent them. You're a federal judge here. I said, well, yeah, I can't do that. But I also can witness. I can write a quo rando complaint on your behavior in this courtroom. A lot of judges won't even come in the courtroom if I'm in the courtroom. Or they got a guy going to prison for 10 years with a $10,000 fine, and I'm sitting there and he gets $20 court costs and sent home because he can't. There are no laws, rules, regulations, and codes in the United States. You have to capitulate to agree to whatever he wants to put on you. And how can you agree? A means no, and agree means contract. How can you agree to somebody that's in a box and say, no, I don't? When he asks you to understand, UN means no, DER is contract, and stand is standing. You have no contract standing. That's why he keeps asking, you understand, you understand. And my client says, I'm here to perform the correct parse-syntax-grammar for the avoidance of perjury.
Okay, I understand what you're saying.
Judge goes, I can't hear what you're saying. I don't know what you're saying. And when the judge says that, she repeats it. Or he repeats it. Judge says, do you understand what I said to you? And she repeats the same thing again. I'm here to participate with the correct parse-syntax-grammar. This battering goes back and forth every 30 seconds for 35 minutes. Finally, the judge says, get out of my courtroom. No charges.
Can't understand what you're saying.
Can't understand what you're saying. There's no joinder. There's no contract. This illusion up here, if they can't get you to make a contract with them, acknowledging that he's in charge of you, they can't put you in jail, can't do anything to you.
So if we don't hear the judge, why are we responding? Like,
you are. Re means no, respond means to talk. It means no talk contract. That's what the word respond means. So if you're babbling to him an adverb verb, you haven't said anything to him.
I see.
And he's up there syntaxing your words as fast as you're saying, as fast as you're acting. He's syntaxing you just like I do. And he's used to all the prefixes mean no, contract. All the suffixes mean no, you're not in no time. And the last when you end a word with a vowel and a consonant,
listen up.
There's always going to be, those two letters mean contract in every word. When you start a word with a A, E, I, O, and U as a single syllable, that means no. Doesn't matter what the word says. It's a no contract word. Because the only reason you have a word that explains what something is because you want to have a contract with that individual. You want to be able to communicate with that individual. Because you're talking, he's listening, you offered, he accepted. Yeah, fishing bill. Right.
Now, like fishing for souls. They want to communicate. They want to fish for souls. Right? When you read these conquistador logs, reading through some very interesting, ones right now, man. And, they talk about their initial contact with the natives and how they would make these, signs and gestures to try to act like they were friendly and then throw some trinkets and all this kind of stuff, and how they would stay about 50 leagues away from each other at first, and how they kept trying to make contracts with them. Now, if the indigenous people never made, contracts with these people at all, didn't communicate with them, said fuck off, it would have been much, much more difficult for these people to infiltrate, because they would have first had to dock. And if they couldn't dock, that would be a problem, right? So it's all about the contract. Even in a conversation, when someone comes to talk to you, they want to make a contract with you. They want to, have a back and forth. You have to agree. Some people just, jump right to it. They don't care if you agree or not, right? But, that's how the gist goes. Fishing, the fishing.
Catching out there and you catch a fish, use a little bit of bait, some information.
Would you mind if I stepped in?
Go ahead.
Share a little bit different technique.
Sure.
So like when you go into these foreign vessels in dry dock, some of the things that I've done work quite nicely. Instead of making a presumption that you have a summons to go there, what I'll do is I'll go up to the door of the building and start knocking. Make their security come to you. When their security comes to you, right away you're into your flag etiquette. So, oh man, you got a yellow French flag. You're in violation of Title 36, Section 176, subsection G. Hey, here's my, and you got your postmaster badge, which is wherever. And you start explaining the guidelines of how you want to be treated and conduct them, and you tip staff them at that point because they work for you. So now you got when you walk into that foreign actors room, you got somebody who's in joiner with you, giving you, do I have an appointment here?
Now, he just called it the foreign actors room because they're in a foreign vessel. They're in a ship, a courthouse, right? So you walk into the foreign actors. These are actors. It's a theater. When it comes to the contracts and the grammar, all of it is adverb, verb, and babble, and it's not adding up, and it's an illusion because they're in a vessel parked on dry dock on an indigenous land that they don't own. So they're setting up a system of illusions to monitor and judge these people. Meanwhile, the Creator has judgments. He has commandments. Thou shalt not steal. Let's steal everything. Let's steal the land. Let's steal the people. Let's steal the gold. Thou shalt not kill. Let's murder everything. So once you break thou shalt not steal and kill, and the first thing you do is come with your hijack, have no other God before me, you've just obliterated the Creator's order, commandment, and frequency. Just like that Samuel Seawall. They came and they found you and know what? You know this is how we do it. So I get it. You get it. This is how we rock. Those that know, we'll jump into seawall. We'll jump into anything at any moment. You're never safe. You're never safe. We just dropped a little bit of this. I got cut off before I got to the good part, so I'm glad that I found a way to come on back to it. Love again to the good bro, Let Us Find the Truth, man, who dropped this thoroughly. And I want to actually eventually read all this to you. For those that have never just sat and read all the way through it, maybe we'll do that sometime soon. But it was 1700s. Printed in Bartholomew Green, John Allen, June 24, 1700, Boston, Massachusetts. This is from Samuel Sewell, The Selling of Joseph. He's an abolitionist, trying to speak against the treatment of the indigenous people in America. Now look at how he ends. I got how he started. Let's just get how he ends. It is observable that the Israelites, this is in the 1700s, man, listen up. It is observable that the Israelites were strictly forbidden the buying and selling of one another for slaves, based on Leviticus 25 and 39, all right? And God engaged his blessing in lieu of any loss they might concept they suffered thereby. And since the partition wall is broken down, inordinate self-love should likewise be demolished. God expects that Christians, oh, here we come with the hijack, like I said, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, break the commandments, let's bring in the Christian. Right on time. No Sabbath, let's go. God expects that Christians should be of a more ingenious and benign frame of spirit. Really? Are they ingenious and benign? Are they really nice? Did they come really nice with the hijack, or did they say convert or die? Christians should carry it to all the world. Sure, okay. As the Israelites were to carry it one towards another. Oh, okay. So they admit that the Israelites were supposed to be building one another up, unifying and working together, returning and spreading that creator energy rather than to the entire world. Now it's the entire world. And don't trip, we're right on subject. Now it's all the world. When they find you here, it's all the world, so that you lose your identity here. And your inheritance is now their inheritance. Who does it benefit when you share someone else's inheritance when you don't have your own? Now it's everybody. Your land is now everybody's. If I take your wallet or your purse right now and I say it's mine, is it mine? If they took your land and my land and they say it's mine, is it theirs? What's the difference conceptually between me taking your wallet or your purse and I claim it's mine because I got the drop on you. I got the muscle on you. I got the sword on you. Does it actually make it mine? So stop the bullshit, people. Just stop it. You don't steal somebody's shit and say it's yours forever. Stop it. You're brainwashed. Get out your illusions. Just cut the shit. Cut all the bullshit. Everybody, you call the creator this, you call the creator that, you black, you white, you Filipino, cut the shit. Let's just all agree on one thing. You don't steal somebody's shit and claim it's yours. It's not survival of the fittest. That's bullshit, and you know it. Somebody roll up and take your shit, it doesn't mean that it's their shit. Somebody take your children, is that theirs? Well, they did. Now we fight for it. Now we want to make America great again. So listen, right here. And for men obstinately to persist in holding their neighbors and brethren under the rigor of perpetual bondage seems to be no proper way of gaining assurance that God has given them spiritual freedom. Here's where I just cued you in on. Our blessed Savior has altered the measures of the ancient love song. So these Christians that are carrying it to all the world, God expects that Christians should be ingenious and benign. And he's saying that with this Christian spirit and with this Christian Savior, with their Zeus, with their Zeus, has altered the measures of the ancient love song. And all I ask of you, so-called Negro out there, is what is your ancient love song that Samuel Sewall is writing about in 1700? That appears to be very recent, if you ask me, that an ancient love song is being written about you in 1700. And that these conquistadors and these mercenaries are saying that their hijack has altered the measures of the ancient love song and set it to a most excellent new tune, right? Christianity spread throughout the world. Now it's an excellent new tune. So they rolled up on your energy, your 432, and they gave you 440. And they call it excellent because they play it out the TV and the radio. They still got you in Thoth pyramid frequency, which all ought to be ambitious of learning, and they teach it in your school and make it the curriculum. Now, what do they call you so-called Negroes here in America? We're just talking about slavery. These Ethiopians. Oh, we're talking about the indigenous Native American, the Indians, right? These Ethiopians. I mean, we're just talking about all people, right? Everybody's American now, right? These Ethiopians. This is in the 1700s. 17, man. 17. All right. I just got to give you a framework so you know what you're dealing with as we get into the syntax. Is that this is recent shit. These are contracts with demons. This is how demons function. This is how they fish to make contracts with you. But when they found you here and they took away, they altered your ancient love song with their savior. Because with their savior, they have your inheritance. With their savior, their savior says you can kill and steal. Just keep calling on me. I'll forgive you forever. Alters their ancient love song, takes them away from the energy and the love song between them and their creator and their trees, And they set it to an excellent new tune. Look around you. Do you hear that excellent new tune of war, which ought to be ambitious of learning? You, my brothers and sisters, they're calling Ethiopians. So when you got Prester John of the Abyssinios, the Ethiopios, Aegyptos, you understand, you overstand. You don't have to make a non-standing agreement that these Ethiopians, as black as they are, here in America, these Ethiopians, as black as they are, seeing that they are the sons and daughters of the first Adam. Wow. The brethren and sisters of the last Adam, Noah. And the offspring of God. Hey, the offspring. So you're being called Ethiopians and the actual seed of the Creator. They ought to be treated with a respect agreeable. The offspring of God, the seed of the Creator, these Ethiopians, as black as they are in this new world, who have an ancient love song that we're altering with our Savior, our Christian Savior, and giving them an excellent new tune. We're going to put that static on these Ethiopians, as black as they are, seeing that they are the sons and daughters of the first Adam creation, the seed, the offspring of God, the Creator. Oh, they ought to be treated with respect. Really, man. Thank you, Samuel Sewall in 1700 for that drop, So I just took that opportunity to complete, and get that last bit that I really wanted to get last time. And, y'all check it out. Y'all check out the link. Look it up. This is the selling of Joseph. All right, so let's get a little bit more syntax, and then we'll make a dismount and come back and do another part 2 on it. Because I think it's worth it, don't you? Don't you agree? Don't you agree? Where we at? Where's my syntax? All right. Here we go. So yeah, we just got a little bit of it. We're going to get a little bit more. This cat is pretty cool too. Russell Gould, I guess you say his name is Gould. They got different approaches. This is a training class. So they're training people on how to be like postal masters and all that drop. You know what I mean? But all we're doing is extracting the babies. And this was 2016, so fairly recent. So the information is basically up to date as far as what they're kicking with this babble. Let go.
Here today. Am I supposed to be here? I've got fraudulent grammar in front of me, and I want to make sure that I correspond so I don't get in trouble. Make sure that you guys know what's going on here under these foreign guidelines, under a foreign vessel and dry dock. I have my sea pass, I have my ship's papers, and I have the criteria for fee for freight to transship myself in here, move myself from one vessel to another. I'm out here on the citizen's land, on my land, and you want me to come into this foreign vessel, you got a ball on your flagstone, which means you're recruiting contractors.
Look, he's talking fast, but listen to what he's saying. He's breaking down the exact situation when he walks in a courthouse. Listen to how he's describing this courthouse, and he's teaching them to see the reality. He's teaching us to see the reality of these foreign vessels. Listen very closely.
Security come to you. When the security comes to you, right away you're into your flag etiquette. Oh man, you got a yellow Prince flag. You're in violation of Title 36, Section 176, subsection G. Hey, here's my, and you got your postmaster badge, which is wherever. You start explaining the guidelines of how you want to be treated and conduct them, and you tip staff them at that point because they work for you. So now you got when you walk into that foreign actors room, you got somebody who's in joiner with you, giving you, do I have an appointment here today? Am I supposed to be here? I've got fraudulent grammar in front of me, and I want to make sure that I correspond so I don't get in trouble. Make sure that you guys know what's going on here under these foreign guidelines, under a foreign vessel and dry dock. I have my sea pass, I have my ship's papers, and I have the criteria for fee for freight to transship myself in here, move myself from one vessel to another. I'm out here on the citizen's land, on my land, and you want me to come into this foreign vessel, you got a ball on your flagstone, which means you're recruiting contract here.
Does it mean that you walk in with your flag, like, like.
Yeah, for sure. Or you have it on your paperwork, you're holding your paperwork. Some of the things that I've experimented around with is I'll be in a cell, and I'll put my paperwork down next to me, and the military will come in and they'll say, I can see you, I can see you. And then I'll grab my paperwork real quick and they'll hit the alarm button. He's escaped, I can't see him. Right, so the games, they know the games. These people are very well educated. I've done a really good job educating these people. So it's just been a different, but anyways, these are different techniques that you can use the postmaster badge to get into these venues to where you have more of you're more of a neutral position to deal with some of these criteria that you guys are going to have to deal with, if you're even going into their foreign vessels, of course. So, knock on the door, make them come to you, tip staff them, hit them with your flag etiquette, feed for phrase.
Yeah.
Hey, is the court closed here today? Yeah, because if I can't file my paperwork, it must be closed. So you guys closed for business here today, because I'm here to participate in correct communication, parse-syntax-grammar. I'm here to be correct. I'm here to make sure you're correct. Oh man, do you have an adjective pronoun on there? Who's your employee? Who's your boss? I'd like to talk to your boss. Give me a flag duty officer, or if you're on a military base or wherever you're at. I don't know what you guys are doing, but courthouse. Give me somebody who's in charge here, because I'm in charge. Right? I'm in charge of me.
You're right. He's in charge of him.
That's right.
It's a drop.
You guys are all in charge of yourselves.
Big
If you want to give up your power and hand it over to some idiot with a second grade reading level, that's your folly.
Lawyer, right?
What's that?
Everybody.
You're talking about lawyer, like.
No, we're talking about anybody standing in front of you.
Oh, okay.
It could be a sheriff, it could be a military police, it could be a police officer, it could be a lawyer, attorney, postmaster. Doesn't matter who he is.
No matter who it is.
They don't have a contract with you. There's nothing in writing except if you want to give them a verbal contract.
Yeah, so when you're looking at these venues that Dave is sharing with you, which is all correct, think about a way to get yourself in there so you can correspond without corresponding. So they don't issue warrants for something that doesn't exist. Right? So you're on point and on top of these situations before the trouble comes your way.
That's the key word. Correspondence, not respond.
That's right.
Correspond means make contract and communicate with a legitimate contract and perform.
Correspond.
And so you have your ship's papers or your lawsuit in your hand. You've paid fee for freight to move yourself into that foreign venue. They're advertising the ball. Oh my God, I walked in here in the security gate. You guys are flying a yellow French flag. Oh, you got the eagles, the wings up today. Oh, okay. You're a postal. Yeah, I'm a postmaster here. I've autographed this. And see the education, and they're like, they're hitting the phone. Man, this guy's coming. Right? They're on the phone on the back end of this thing going, this guy's looking to smoke you guys. He knows that
We've walked into the court.
Yeah, you got
and the security guy who's at the metal detector says, the judge is in the building. Everybody behave yourself.
Yeah, so you got
because we're advertised ahead of time before we get there. And we file our oaths at the courthouse. When we walk in, nobody knows us from Adam. But once the clerk of the court gets a hold of one of our
doxes,
everybody is called into the clerk's office, all the sheriffs, all the marshals, all the judges, all the lawyers, and say, this just got filed.
So these
this guy's coming. This is what he looks like. Here's a picture of him.
Yeah, these are some of the things that you can do. Be more to correspond, instead of if you feel like you have to go in there and they're going to put warrants out there, get on the door, man, get all over them, pound on that thing, make them come to you. Hey man, do I have an appointment to be here today? Not an appointment to be here today. Man, I've syntaxed this paperwork, I've found it all to be 100% fraud. I paid my fee for freight, I've got my ship's papers here. I want to come in, I want to participate correct so you guys don't have to come after me at a later time. So these are some techniques that I use. And you can do a lot of different things. I mean, I've used mirrors before. You see some picture ID, you pull out a mirror. There I am, mirror treaties. I've done a lot of different little things, man. It's really genius stuff, I'm telling you. It works quite nicely, because then I say, you want to see government ID? You want Pete to pay the fee for freight? There's my stamp on there. I've autographed it. There I am. This is lifetime, stuff. And yeah, you can do a lot of mirror treaties. You can do a lot of cool stuff. But you got to have confidence in what you're doing. You really got to.
You got to walk the walk, talk the talk, do your homework. You want to go ahead and cold style like this? Call us up.
Yeah.
You can do it on Skype. You can do face-to-face. Might take an hour, 2 hours on Skype. You might want to be in when your groups get together. And you guys try to punch a hole through us. Because we're going to be the judge, and you try to get past us with what you want to pull. Now, we will correct all your mistakes as fast as you do it. Because collectively, we got 125,000.
I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. So we're going to get our dismount.
What we did at the Vatican for 3 days. And he was more than satisfied. He says, "You guys come with me," and he walked us right through the red carpet, ambassadors, and put us on the plane, fly back to the United States. But the Universal Postal Union director also vouched for Russell to go back to the States. They
Here we go.
take all these different languages, Russian, doesn't matter what the language is, I can take it and syntax it. I still don't know what it says when I get done, but these numbers tell me it's a lie.
Boom. Numbers ain't lying. This is where we need to be at. All right, so he said you can take any language and syntax. It don't matter what it is, it can be syntax. And when we're talking syntax, you know, let's be clear, we're not just talking English. So I want to be clear for myself. I keep saying that. But for me, as I'm learning with you, I have to remember this is just about numbers. And fraudulent grammar and all this can apply or does apply to any language. Now, how can we apply this to what we're putting together in the root of our language, right?
And these numbers don't lie. And all the lawyers on planet Earth all go to the same school. All the attorneys and all the judges on planet Earth go to the same school, have been for about 200 years. Well, actually, 800 years, since Magna Carta, 1215. And that was written in adverb verb. When I syntaxed that, it was sold to Christie's London for $6.3 million by Queen Elizabeth as a historical document with no value. And to show you how careless everybody was, during World War II, the Nazi stormtroopers hit the archives of London with 250 stormtroopers to destroy the Magna Carta, thinking that would destroy the British government. The British government answered back with 350 of their own elite special forces. And about 275 people died in that battle, all fighting over a document that looks like this, an adverb verb that says nothing. And when we syntaxed it, the German...
Now notice he said 800 years ago, so do the math. 800 years, 1200. We're talking about the Voynich manuscript. We're talking about Prester John. The takedown of Prester John in 1202, according to, you know, a couple of different documents happened around 1200. So since that time, they've been getting together, going to the same schools of thought to put their Babel on you.
German High Command and the British High Command are both looking at each other going like, we're fighting over adverb verb. We're killing each other over nothing. We want world domination that we can't read and write. I mean, how crazy can this get? And that's been going on for wars for 8,500 years. Because we're fighting over treaties that were bad.
Treaties.
You know, this is the old story of the little red hen who sows the...
Yo, that means that all their treaties? Man, hold up. You know. So let's remember where we're at, 107. Now, that means that all their treaties and I showed this a couple times and I keep coming back. It's unbelievable, man. Unbelievable, man. Don't syntax me. Don't syntax me. My prefixes, man. I gotta get my prefixes up. My prefix gang. Where we at? Is this it? Oh, it's another treaty. You know, these Moorish treaties. Aboriginal indigenous people, right? So these treaties are being made at the time of your takedown. Moors get expelled out of Spain, whatever they want to say, right? So then now we have these treaties here. You have this name keeps popping up. Zelia S.L. Zelia S.L. Authorized representative natural person in propria persona. All right, Zelia. All right. Now, let me see if this is a little different than the other one I had. We're the one that said Moabite. So let's keep this one. I'm going to try to get another one. Treaty. Treaties everywhere. Let's check out this treaty. Oh, this is the whole treaty on the racial law. So, you know, they've been fighting over these treaties. Let's see more. I'm gonna try to find this treaty on y'all, man. I think that's the one I already had. Oh, they're taking down me links. Nah. Wait a second. That's the one we pulled out. They're gonna make me do it the hard way, but it's worth it. I said it's worth it, even when they want us to do it the hard way. Alright, so when we talk these treaties, and we talk 800 years ago, 600 years ago, I never really know, you know what I'm saying, where I'm going, but I always get there. And that's how we do when we're surfing the wave. You know, I never say, I'm gonna talk about these treaties unless I'm really gonna go deep into these treaties. Then I'll go deep into the treaties. Love again, man, to these, you know, wonderful authors and artists and teachers and brothers, you know what I'm saying? That's just dropping tremendous work for us all to dig on. But right now, I just want to dig on this Moorish thing. I want to get the one that says Moabite. That's why I'm taking the extra time on the dismount. Sorry for my slow juice here.
Of Central America, then, as
King Hiram, man, y'all go check it out, man. Y'all go surf that Hiram wave, man. It's always indigenous power. All right, Moorish treaty, transfer of inheritance. Let's go. Great way to make a dismount. All right, so this is the one we got before, the Moorish National Republic. I'm going to get right to it. All right, so this is being done on the 2nd day of December, 1430. 1430. All right. Now, this was republished, this particular, you know, article here was republished in 2010 and all this kind of stuff. But this initial treaty, 1430, is between United States of America Corporation and Zelia S.L., Aboriginal, Indigenous, National Moorish, American Hearers, Moabite. It gives you the land coordinates that this treaty is being made. So she's been giving land for her and her people. Her and her Moabites. Now we're connecting the Moabite Moor time situation. I'm not saying all Moors are Moabites. As we know, Moor is a general situation. Some people take it as a general term for this and this and this. Other people take it as a bloodline. We know it's all, you know, mixed and matched. It depends on who you're talking to. But I'm just getting to the indigenous truth. Moabite, Zelia S.L., treaty, transfer of inheritance to the Moors of North America, North America, North Gate. Now, when you compare that with this one, you see the same sister, Zelia S.L. Let's get it bigger. Zelia S.L., authorized representative. All right. Now, let's go to the top. All debt contracted engagements entered into before the adoption of this Constitution shall be as valid against the United States under this Constitution as under this Confederation, this Constitution, and the laws of the United States, which shall be made in pursuance thereof, and all treaties made which shall be made under the authority of the United States shall be the supreme law of the land, and the judges in every state shall be bound thereby. Anything in the Constitution or laws or in any state to the contrary, notwithstanding the senators and representatives before mentioned, and the member of the several state legislatures and all executive and judicial offices, both of the United States and the others several states, shall be bound by oath or affirmation to support this Constitution, but no religious test shall ever be required as a qualification to any office or public trust under the United States. Now, this is just going into the this memorandum to this situation that originally popped off. We got the 1430 here. All right, so, this transfer agreement is a transfer instrument from United States of America, all caps, to the rightful heiress apparent, Zelia S.L. All right. Protected by the Zodiac Constitution. Look that up. United States Republic Constitution, Treaty of Peace and Friendship. All these treaties, man. United Nations. You the only Negroes that don't know who you are. Everybody else is making treaties and getting land. Getting specific land. Getting land in certain longitudes and latitudes. They're getting treaties for land. Who signs treaties for land? Only those that know that it's not theirs. Oh, I'll make a deal with you for this. When it's yours, you fight for it. Your people died for it. They made treaties for it. There's a difference. Zelia S.L. All right. This transfer invokes her inalienable secured rights as a Moorish American national. Our free Moorish Zodiac Constitution, United States Public Department of Justice, United States Supreme Court, Supreme Law, United States Republic Constitution, Resolution number 75. Look all this stuff up. Moorish American Society of Philadelphia in use of their names. Universal Declaration of Human Rights, rights of religious, indigenous people, United Nations General Assembly, Treaty of Peace and Friendship, the Declaration of Granting of Independence to the colonial countries and the people, UNGA 1514. Look this stuff up. The American Declaration of Rights and Duties of Man, Declaration of Principles of International Law, Executive Order number 13107. What does it mean? Now, with this document in place, proper identity for Zelia S.L. establishes and removes the record any and all misrepresentation of abandonment by any foreign entities, guilds, private foreign unions, etc., or persons alleging anything to the contrary, including you, Negro. When you wake up, you allege something to the contrary. You say, nah, that's my land. She says, nope, I'm protected under the United States Corporation and the Zodiac Corporation. I'm protected. It's mine. Or persons alleging anything to the contrary. On her part as an heir to the vast heritage and responsibility to her people, not your people. Her people, not your people. Her people. She ain't waking you up. She's protecting her people and getting longitude, latitude for her heritage, but you're the creator's heritage. Did the creator tell her to make a little side deal for her heritage? What did the creator tell us? To rock in order, and our heritage will be reestablished. On her part, as a heir to the vast heritage. Who made her heir to the vast heritage? Was she voted in by her people or by the creator? And responsible to her people? Now, I get looking out for your own and all that stuff. And, I can see how when everything's getting rolled up, you're like, man, shit, I got to save these people. I got to do this. But when you see the end effect of it, and you see the end effect was disunity, and the disunity puts us all in this state today with the people on the bottom that's on the bottom that have been treated on. They've been dealed on. I am Zelia S.L. Zelia S.L., authorized representative, natural divine being manifest in human flesh. All right. In the Queen Nahetukik territory. Look this up. What is that? Which territory is this? Northwest Ame'rican. All right. The foregoing instrument was acknowledged before me the 18th day, December 10th, by Zelia S.L. Harris, who is personally known to me or who has produced Moorish American nationality card as identification. So either they're saying this was re-amended then, or that this took place then. And if it took place then, damn, that's even worse, because it's just happened. In witness thereof, I set my hand and seal. All right, so when you get this Zelia SL right here, and when you get this Moabite right here, then you should be able to wake up from there. And if somebody just signed in 2010, all right, so I see both dates, 1430 and 2010. If this happened in 2010, man, and they just signed as a Moabite, then somebody is very aware of who they are. And they got latitude and longitude on your ass. And are these the treaties we're talking about? The treaties we're talking about. The treaties. And is that fraudulent grammar? Is her treaty nothing but fraudulent grammar? Is everything we're reading here nothing but fraudulent grammar? The Zelia SL, International Criminal Court, CC, all these people are CC, United Nations, all these people are CC so that she gets her piece. As this Moorish Ame'rican here, but the Negroes get nothing, but she's doing deals protected by the Zodiac Constitution and everything else. Now I get when they got something that predates this, so they got the drop on this, but you're left out. And you don't make deals with devils. Making a deal with the devil in treaties have never been kept. They've just been rolled on because you don't make deals with the devil, man. This is a transfer of inheritance. Where's your inheritance? On that note, I'll let my brother Uno take it away. Love to the kings, love to the queens, love to drive the nation. Stay up, Suda.
You know you a monster of these boys.
Yeah.
Kings, everybody, how y'all doing? Shout out to all my indigenous truthers, all my people seeking knowledge from everything that we have been studying. Today, I'm just going to be doing something about genetics and transgenetics, and how, the idea of taking, body parts or cells, cloning animals, and plants that are unnatural, and to let you see the view of the people that's these scientists, how they taking over to do this stuff. So just a little bit. And if I might say, you see these yellow lines here down at the bottom of the video here, these are commercials. So if a commercial pops in, I try my best to annihilate it right away, okay? So shout out to all my Untalked indigenous Americans, all my brothers and sisters. And let's get to this little presentation, okay? All right. And let me mute me out for a second, okay?
Olivia Judson is an expert in natural selection and evolution. But she is now going to step into an extraordinary new world. A world where scientists have taken control and turned nature upside down.
You heard what it? Science is taking over and turning nature upside down. Okay? This is pretty much what these people are doing. These unnatural people are taking it upon themselves to become the creator, to manipulate the matrix and make it do what they want it to do. Okay? Alright, let me get back to it.
Inside this barn is a herd of cows that evolution could never have produced.
What a sight! Every animal here is a clone.
Wow.
They're all genetic copies of just two original cows created in the lab. They were created by genetic engineering in the hope of saving human life.
Hey!
These calves are the brainchild of geneticist Professor Jim Roble. He's built them from the ground up to help cure some of the most dangerous diseases on the planet.
Fake-ass calves.
So what is she? What makes her special?
Well, this is a calf that has a series of gene knockouts, and she also carries the human microchromosome that has the human antibody genes.
So she can make human antibodies in her blood?
Yep.
Human.
Antibodies are produced by our bodies to fight disease. They can destroy lethal infections like SARS and poisons like botulism.
They're using human cells to insert into animals to let her be eaten by humanoids or Negroid or Caucasianoid people. Feel me? These people are unnatural. They have no creative setup. It's just they trying to manipulate everything, you know. But yeah, I'm not gonna do too much interruption. Kind of let you just want to weigh in on your own idea, let your own mind absorb this information. So I'm gonna step in every now and then, okay? So bear with me. And like I said, I try to annihilate these impulses of commercials that they put into these videos. Okay, all right.
But no one has found a way to mass produce them until now.